Hello, my name is Donald Allen. I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. It's April 17th, 2013. Today marks what would have been the 135th birthday of Catherine Emma Maltwood. Catherine, seen here, is most notable for having discovered the Glastonbury Temple of the Stars landscape Zodiac in the Somerset area of England in 1927. To celebrate Catherine's birthday, I would like to take you on a little tour of the Glastonbury Zodiac. So here we go. Zooming into the Somerset area of England. Here we see the location of the Zodiac effigies. The effigies themselves are formed by a combination of both man-made and natural elements. Sometimes it's the contours of the land, such as river paths. Other times it's man-made roads and field boundaries. We'll now zoom in to have a closer look at the individual effigies themselves, starting with Aries. Instead of the more commonly seen male ram, Catherine discovered a female lamb. One of the most notable features of the Aries effigy is that, like Aries, the constellation in the night sky, Catherine's lamb is looking back towards its tail. As we'll find much later in the story, this reverted head plays a significant role in the landscape zodiac. Next is Taurus. Like the constellation Taurus in the night sky, we can only see the head and front hoof of Catherine's Taurus effigy. The reason for this is that in classic mythology, the bull is often seen. With the Gemini twins, I deviated a bit from Catherine Maltwood's original map drawings and went with either Mary Kane or Gail Cornwall's version of the Gemini twins. The twins are proportionate in size and both appear to be sitting in a meditative position. Catherine appears to give much more significance to the twin on the left than she does to the twin on the right. The twin on the right she actually depicts as a griffin bird instead of a person. One of the biggest arguments against the Glastonbury Zodiac is that instead of finding a Cancer effigy, instead Catherine Maltwood discovered the Argo Navis, the boat that Jason and the Argonauts sail on their quest for the Golden Fleece. Catherine points out that the mass of the Argo Navis are at 28 degrees, or 1/13th of the zodiac circle. Both 28 and 13 are lunar or feminine numbers, with there being full moon every 28 days and 13 full moons in a year. Catherine calls the Argo Navis a moon boat, and the zodiac sign Cancer is ruled by the moon. Therefore, Catherine says that the Argo Navis effigy represents the Cancer effigy. It's interesting that Catherine refers to the Argo Navis effigy as an Egyptian boat, for the zodiac sign Cancer originated in Egypt, where it was seen as a scarab beetle carrying the sun in its pincers while traveling across the heavens in a boat. Leo is the first effigy that Catherine Maltwood discovered. It was while studying and mapping out the adventures of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table that Catherine noticed the shape of the lion in the contours of the land. Catherine shared her lion discovery with a friend who suggested that it might be part of a landscape zodiac. Glastonbury's Virgo resembles a witch or an old crone, more so than the beautiful goddess Demeter, whom the constellation Virgo represents. Here we see Virgo with her outstretched hand holding a sheaf of wheat. Another little oddity of the Glastonbury zodiac is that there is no scales to represent the zodiac sign Libra. Instead, Catherine Maltwood discovered a dove holding something in its beak, which she says represents Libra. Another interesting little oddity of the Libra/dove effigy is that, unlike the other effigies that all fall into their proper place, the dove effigy, the Libra effigy, sits in the center of the zodiac as opposed to between Virgo and Scorpio. This brings us next to the Scorpio effigy. Not the prettiest effigy, a little bit thin in the arms there, but interesting enough, Scorpio and Libra used to be one constellation. It's the Romans that cut off the scorpion's claws to form the zodiac sign Libra. And what's interesting here is the green line running down on an angle there, the straight road that goes across the Scorpio's hands, his claws there, is called Fossway, or otherwise known as the Roman line. Catherine sees Sagittarius as King Arthur dismounting his horse. This forms the centaur, half man, half horse. Arthur is stepping off his horse with his back towards us and stepping towards us. His left arm we can only see to the elbow, for it appears as he has his bow string pulled back and he's pointing with his right hand. Note his clearly defined buttocks and his horse's head sticking out from behind his belly. With Capricorn, I deviated from Catherine Maltwood's original map drawings and went with Gail Cornwell's Capricorn effigy. One of the differences between Catherine and Gail's Capricorn effigies is the addition of the sea goat's spiraled fishtail in Gail's effigy. Catherine's Aquarius is quite different in that instead of the more commonly seen water bearer, Catherine discerned Glastonbury's Aquarius effigy as a phoenix bird, nesting phoenix bird. The phoenix has its head on the Glastonbury tour and its beak sits at the chalice well. Its wings are outstretched and it has a plume of feathers on its head. Last of the zodiac effigies is Pisces, the fishes. Note that the two fishes are, like the Gemini twins, proportionate in size to each other. Besides the zodiac constellations, Catherine also discerned a few other effigies. Between the Pisces fishes lies the tail of Cetus the whale. Cetus is a constellation of the night sky, but it is not a zodiac constellation. In the center of the Glastonbury zodiac lies three small effigies that Catherine refers to as the 3 drops of blood on the Grail table. Catherine calls the triangular effigy the enclosure of the sun. The effigy on the bottom left, she says, resembles the head of a snake with its fangs sticking out, and she calls this one the giant dragon's head. And the effigy on the bottom right she calls the finger of God. So there's a closer look at the individual effigies themselves. We'll zoom back out here to take the wider look at the entire zodiac again here for a moment. The zodiac itself is multi-layered. The effigies are just one part of the zodiac. I'm not sure if Catherine discovered this next part or if it's just something that's common knowledge well before her discovery of the Glastonbury zodiac. But running nearly directly through the center of the Glastonbury Zodiac is an energy line or a ley line that is now referred to as the Melkarth line. Though not perfectly horizontal, Catherine believed this line to be the equatorial or horizontal line of the zodiac. Catherine points out that this line runs through Sagittarius's eye, or his third eye, and his outstretched hand and pointed finger pointing right at the line. This line also runs right through her serpent head, or the giant dragon's head, along the finger of God to directly through the eye of the Taurus effigy. Seeing as this line ran directly through the eye of Taurus and through Scorpio's body, Catherine figured out that this line might be one of the lines that forms the cardinal cross, which is formed by the four fixed stars: Aldebaran, the eye of Taurus; Regulus, the heart of Leo; Antares, the heart of Scorpio; and Fomalhaut, the mouth of the southern fish. Following this hunch, Catherine got this idea to place a star chart over top of the Glastonbury zodiac to see if the constellations in the night sky line up with the effigies on the ground. She quickly realized that the effigies on the ground were reversed or reflected of the constellations of the night sky. So in order to lay the star chart on top of the zodiac, she had to reverse it. She had to take a mirrored image of the star chart from the night sky and then place it on the effigy map in order for them to line up. Next, Catherine placed the star Aldebaran, the eye of Taurus the bull, and the star of Antares, the heart of the scorpion, on this line and adjusted the star chart in size in and out until she made the alignment. Here we see the results of her star chart overlay. The dotted yellow circle represents the ecliptic of the night sky. The ecliptic is the path along which the sun, moon, and planets travel. It's also the location of the 12 zodiac constellations. Here again, we'll go in for a closer look to see how the stars, the constellations fall on the zodiac effigies. So zooming in here on the Aries effigy, so we're not looking at the whitish shape of the effigies themselves. We're looking at the red lines and the yellow stars. So there's the Aries. The Aries constellation sits along the neck and head of the Aries effigy. Taurus here stretches across Taurus's arm with the eye of the Taurus constellation sitting on the front paw of the Taurus effigy. Gemini is just barely standing on the hand of the one of the Gemini twins there. The stars of Cancer fall on the neck of the Leo. This has led to a few people believing that the location of the missing Cancer effigy is somewhere in the neck of the Leo. The Leo effigy itself sits on the tail, the Leo constellation, itself sits on the tail of the Leo effigy. Virgo sits on the train of her dress with her arms stretched out onto the sheaf of wheat. Now Libra, as I mentioned, Libra and Scorpio were one constellations. The claws of the Scorpion were cut off by the Romans to form the constellation Libra, and here we have the constellation Libra falling on the claw of the Scorpion effigy.